Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for November 18th, 2024. I'm your host, Gary Smith. And on today's show, we're going to talk to Coach Dunn about this past weekend's PSAC title game and look ahead to a very exciting weekend, NCAA playoffs. That's why, Coach, I've started growing my playoff beard for you. I have not shaved since, this morning. So this is a 3-hour stubble, but it's playoff time. We'll get to that. But, Coach, Saturday, PSAC title game against KUTZTOWN. We talked a little bit last week how complete of a team they are, and they sure showed it. It was a great game, back and forth, one-score game, but just came up a few plays short.
Yeah, I don't know that we played our best football, but credit to KUTZTOWN. KUTZTOWN's an extremely talented team, 11-0, ranked third in the country, and they made enough plays to win. I think, we left some things out there. When we watched it Sunday morning, there was plays we could have made, but you got to give your credit to KUTZTOWN. So, proud of the way our guys battled and competed against a good football team, but when you're playing football this time of year, everybody's good. And, we just didn't make enough plays to win and kind of ran out of time, but give credit to KUTZTOWN.
And we talked about it last week, how great it is playing meaningful football in November. We go back to the game Saturday. That first half was just back and forth, like just a war. Only 7 points scored, but a couple chances. KUTZTOWN had a chance to get a 2-score lead. Your defense buckled down, made some plays, so you go into halftime at 7-0. What was it feeling like coming out of the locker room going into that first half?
Yeah, I just thought we were too amped up. We had talked to our guys all week about it's the same as the first 9 games. Nothing's different. They're going to put 60 minutes on the clock, and we're going to go out and play football. And I just thought we pressed a little bit in the first half. We had a couple possessions where we got down inside the 40 and came away with 0 points. We turned the ball over one time at their 25. We were inside the 40 another time. The last drive of the first half, we break a quarterback draw and get called for a holding penalty. And it just seemed like we were just shooting ourselves in the foot the whole first half. So I brought the team up, at the end of the first half, said, listen, we're just not playing our ball. Come out, start the second half with a touchdown drive to tie it up 7-7. So now we're in the game.
I was going to say, end of the first half, that's one of the few times I think I've seen you bring the team together on the sideline like that before. And like you said, definitely the message got through. They went down, tied up the game, 7-7. KUTZTOWN comes back, and then it was just back and forth it basically had a feeling like whoever was going to have the ball last was going to either win the game or send it to overtime.
They made the plays. We tied up 7-0, and they put a nice drive together. We had a couple mental breakdowns on that drive that aided them a little bit, but they're a good football team. So even when they took the lead 14-7, I felt like we had settled down, and we were still moving the football. When I look at the stats after the game, I think we were above 50% on third down. We moved the football. We only punted 3 times. We just shot ourselves in the foot at the wrong time. Once we crossed the 50, we kind of got bogged down. So then, we're down 14-7. I think they end up going up 21-7, if I'm not right. We score again to go 21-14. But we ran out of time. I had to use the timeouts there to try and save as much clock as we could. We had went down in the red zone the possession before that and came away empty. We had ran a quarterback draw and didn't block it up real good, so we lost a bunch of yards. And then, it's hard against good defense. I think it was 4th and 19, 4th and goal from the 19. There ain't a lot of plays for that situation. But our kids kept battling. We got a 3 and out. We called our timeouts. We got them to punt again, got a big punt return. We were able to put one in the end zone, so now we got to try and get the onside kick. Obviously, just didn't come up with it.
Well, I was going to bring up that series. Like you said, 4th and 19. You get down to, I think, the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Turnover, but then your defense just locks it down. And what was the message to the team after the punt? Like, there was a timeout called. What do you say to the team going into that? Because you knew that's a must-score situation.
Yeah, we had paced the whole drive before that. I think there was 5 minutes on the clock, and we were down 2 scores. So offensive staff talked about, hey, we're going to have to go pace because we're going to run out of time. And, we put that first drive together. I think it's a different ball game if we put it in there because now I don't have to call all the timeouts and there's still 5 minutes left to go in the game if the defense can get another stop. And we kind of had taken the field possession war over there. But, it just didn't work out. But, our kids battled and competed. And I tell you what a great crowd. The alumni that were back from every era. That just tells you how special Vulcan football is. They've been with us on the road. They've been with us every home game. I mean, we've been home for a month. So, I'm sure there's some wives out there saying, you got another home Cal football game. But just proud of our guys, the way they battled and competed. And, we just came up a little bit short.
And then you had a chance for the onside kick. And it looked for us on the press box as you guys had it. But the onside kick, that's got to be one of the toughest plays anymore in the way they've changed the rules in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I don't think Anthony hit it the way he wanted it to. It came up a little bit short. Their kid made a nice play. We had scouted that against, I guess it was their East Stroudsburg game, that we saw something that we liked for an onside kick and had worked that this week. But at the end of the day, their kid made the play, and they were able to kneel out the clock.
And after the game, before the presentation and stuff, you brought your team together for a pretty long post-game talk. What was the message to the team right after the game?
Yeah, it was, we didn't make enough plays to win today. We're going to give KUTZTOWN the credit. They did, but I also flipped it pretty quick to you guys have done enough to get in the national playoffs. I'd done my homework and tried figuring out all the scenarios, and we're still a little bit shell-shocked here from a couple years ago when the NCAA didn't put us in, and it was I think we're still the only one-loss team in the country to be left out of a playoff bracket. That still stings with our guys, and some of our seniors were on. A lot of our seniors were on that team. So you never know. But I told them, listen, we're going to get together tomorrow at 5 o'clock or 5:30. We're going to eat up at the student center and have a watch party, and they're not keeping us out this time. And I felt really good about it, and so that's what we did last night.
Well, let's take a look back at the highlights from Saturday, and then we'll talk about everything NCAA playoffs after the break. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.
Novak looking, fires, wide open for the touchdown. Black looking, pressure comes, Black fires, caught for Hopkins, able to get the first down and a little bit more as looks like the football comes out. KUTZTOWN says they have it. There's another handoff to Boyd. Actually, no, Black's going to keep it himself. Rumbling in for the touchdown, Davis Black. What an angry run there by Davis Black for the touchdown. They're going to hand it off to Stewart instead. Stewart able to cut it up the middle, and he has plenty of space for the touchdown. On the near side for the Golden Bears. The handoff is to Burkhardt. Burkhardt tries the right side and able to force his way in for the touchdown. He's going to fake it to McCann. Black looking, deciding to take it himself, lunges for the touchdown. Davis Black.
The 2024 NCAA Division II football playoffs are coming to Adamson Stadium this Saturday as the number 3 seed California Vulcans play host to the number 6 seed East Stroudsburg Warriors. Game time is 1 p.m. and be sure to follow Cal Vulcans on social media for game day information. Can't make it to the game? Then cheer on the Vulcans as the NCAA Division II football playoffs will be carried live on ESPN+. And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show, and I'm Gary Smith along with Coach Dunn. And before we look into what's coming up this week, because it's a lot going on in Vulcan football land, let's take a look at the final week of PSAC action from the scores across crossover play. Last week in a crossover play, other scores: East Stroudsburg over Clarion 22-19, Lock Haven over Gannon 21-13, Millersville getting their first and only win of the year over Edinburgh 23-21, Shepherd over Seton Hill 13-10. Slippery Rock over Bloomsburg 27-7, and IUP over Shippensburg 38-7. But Coach, as you alluded to before the break, selection show was yesterday.
Yes,
as
sir.
we shoot it on Sunday. California gets the 3rd seed, and again, we've talked about it last couple weeks. Play meaningful football, and there's no more meaningful football at this time of the year, the NCAA playoffs. What was the reaction like when your team saw the name? I mean, I think everyone had a good feeling.
Sure.
But
But you
once
never
you
know.
see, you never know. But once you see that name, what was the feeling?
Yeah, no, I think our guys were excited. You know, and we talk about it all the time. You work year round for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you work year round to give yourself an opportunity to play championship football, and our guys have done that, from winter workouts to spring ball to as many guys as we had stay here this summer and work out together with our strength coach. And you know, this is why you do it, you know, to put yourself in the tournament at the end of the year. And you know, we felt good about it. You never know. We landed where I thought we would. I thought we'd get a home game. So excited, but you know, this time of year everybody's good. So we've got to get back to work. We've got to correct some things from yesterday or from Saturday that we didn't execute well. We've got to play better football to continue in this tournament.
And how much? I mean, yesterday the selection show was at 5. You know, gathered at 5:30, 6 o'clock was the show. Usually, you know, a year in advance who your schedule is going to be. Like, I know coaching staff doesn't like to be out, but what's your staff and what's your thought process in that? You know you're in, but you don't know the opponent. What do you do there to try and prepare as best you can?
There's really nothing you can do because they won't exchange film, or that we had to give our film to the NCAA 2 weeks ago. Once the regional rankings come out, and if you're in the top 10, you've got to share your film with the NCAA. But the NCAA won't share the film with you until after 6 o'clock that night. So you truly have no idea who you're playing. You know, we got a conference school that we played the past 2 years, which gives both of us, you know, some heads up, you know, their staff as well as ours, because we've played the last couple of years. So that's a bonus. But, you know, once you find out at 6, you congratulate your team, and we included our wives. All of our wives came because they're, you know, the sacrifices that they make for us to do what we do is huge. So it was important to have our wives there, and then we got to work. You know, around 6:30, you know, all the coaches were in the office, and you know, a lot of tired coaches today because they were up watching film all night. You could kind of tell I'm a little bit tired myself. But that's part of it. You know, we've got to do our work to try and give our young men the best opportunity to play good football.
And if you're a Vulcan football fan, unless you've been under a rock for the past 24 hours, you know the opponent will be East Stroudsburg. As you said, Coach played them the last 2 years. Last year, last game of the regular season, basically a playoff game. Win or go home. This year, in the first round of the NCAA playoffs, we know that program's been going up and up and up. What have you seen on Phil so far? We'll start first with offense.
Offense, really good. I think they've got the number one offense in the league. They're scoring over 30 points a game. They're going to do a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, a lot of personnel groups. They're going to find their one-on-one matchups and take deep shots down the field. You know, they're 10-1. You know, their only loss is to KUTZTOWN in a one-score game against KUTZTOWN. So they're extremely well coached offensively. They've got tight ends, they've got skill guys, they're big up front, but they're going to motion and shift you and try and get you out of place, and then they're going to take shots down the field. But you know, probably the top offense in the league right now. And
switching over the defensive side, you know, what do they have?
Yeah, they're giving up about 16 points a game, which is I believe is second in the league right now. Really, really talented on the back end. Their safeties and corners I think are probably the best that we've seen as a collective group. They're big up front. They got 2 big D tackles that just kind of eat space up in there, and then they've got active linebackers. They're going to run a 4 down front, pressure you on 3rd down. They'll do some 3 safety stuff and drop into coverage a little bit. Very multiple on defense as far as coverages go. But just talented, you know, and at this time of year, that's what you get. You're playing a 10-1 team that has really, really, you know, taking care of the East over there. They won their 2 crossover games, obviously. So, you know, Coach Jimmy Twigler, he's got it rolling out there. You know, the second year in a row that they're in the playoffs. Probably could have been in the year before, if I'm not mistaken. So really, really good football team. And
Coach, obviously, any game this week, NCAA playoffs, comes down to a play here and there. A lot of times it's special teams. What on the third phase of the game? What do they have? Yeah, really active. Their kicker's really good. I will tell you that. Their punter, they do a kind of a rugby roll punt, and he's very effective in that. They've got good cover teams. So they're just a solid, really, really good football team. They're well coached in every phase of the game. They're going to have a couple tricks for us. They always do. So we've got to play assignment football, and we got to get back to taking care of California. I think, you know, maybe this week we were a little bit too worried about everything else. We got to worry about the play in front of us and play the next play, and get back to that. And if we do, we'll have success. And if we don't, then we won't. I mean, it's just that's how football this time of year is. But it's
It's a fine line. It's a couple plays Saturday. Last Saturday being a difference. It's going to come down to a couple plays this Saturday, and we've got to step up and make those plays.
I'll look at the bracket one time, and I know the coach, this is always, no coach ever likes looking at graphics, but this one's the bracket.
Yeah.
And the thing that sticks out to me, there are 7 teams in the NCAA regional tournament. 4 of them are PSAC teams. What does that speak to the level?
Yeah, just our league is unbelievable. And, I think Indiana even had a complaint to maybe get in. At 7-3, there's a team that's 7-3 in that they beat the first week of the season. So just the balance in our league, it's you got to show up. And then we've played 3 of the top 7. We've played to 1, we've played to 2, and we've played to 4. So I think our schedule has prepared us for this, and I don't mind graphics this time of year.
I was going to say,
it's once it's out, right? But it's just leading up to this time of year. We've got to handle our business week in and week out, and then when they have the selection show on Sunday evening, we'll look up and see where we're at, and we did that last night. So we're excited to continue to play. And I'll tell you what, the alumni outreach has been tremendous. The crowd, like I said earlier, the crowd we had here, and it was phenomenal last week. And just, as a alumnus myself, happy to be a part of it, that those guys reach out to us and they're back for the golf outing, they're back for the spring game, they come to our home games. Man, it is special to be a Vulcan football player and a Vulcan football alumni.
I was say a couple times we would have the camera shot on the right end of the field where the alumni tailgate and stuff was,
Yep.
and just the excitement of the players down there, the former players down there,
Yeah.
Friends of the program. But we need all help we can get this Saturday. If you're in red and black, you got to come again.
Let's go.
The game's at Adamson Stadium, as has been for the last month and a half, it seems. The time is different. It's 1 o'clock at Adamson Stadium. NCAA timing is at 1 o'clock. You can watch the game live. It's on ESPN3 this week. A lot of details still to be determined, but you will be able to get the game on ESPN3. But really, Coach, the best way to watch it is to be at Adamson Stadium.
Live and in person.
And it's going to be, you're going to want to get your cow hoodies out. It's going to be a little cold on Saturday, but a little chilly, but just how much do we need the fans?
I can't thank our fans enough for what they've done and how they supported this. And we're going to ask you to come out one more week to cheer this bunch on. It's a great atmosphere. The tailgates are going to be rolling. We've pushed the game back to 1 o'clock to give you an extra hour of tailgating. My wife and daughter last Friday night were cooking for the tailgate, and I told them, well, you're going to have to do this again next weekend because we're going to be hosting. So they'll be there. I know our football alumni will be there, but come up and enjoy. This is big time college football. 2 really, really good teams that know each other are going to go at it Saturday at 1 o'clock.
And when you're preparing your tailgate with the weather, maybe have a couple stews, some chilies, some hot stuff. But again, 1 o'clock Saturday. For all the game day information and stories leading up to it, don't hesitate to go to calvulcans.com or calvulcans on all your social media. But Coach, you have to
blackout this week. We're in all black.
Let's go. So wear your black. So that's a change. Make chili, wear black, cheer on the Vulcans. So for Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you Saturday versus East Stroudsburg, 1 o'clock NCAA playoffs.